Well, good evening. It is Monday, November the 4th, 2024. And as promised, we are going live to discuss the highlights of the Realistic Commission meeting. To start off, you are welcome to check out their meetings. They happen on the third Wednesday of every month at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. You would just visit the Realistic Commission website on the left hand side or on the menu. You would click on Board Business and then you can access it using Google Meet. Or if you don't have access or prefer using Google Meet, you can always call in, listen, and towards the end, they are going to ask for public comments. Definitely check out the minutes when they are posted. The last time I checked, I saw that they had the minutes till I think May. So right now we're catching up. I am here to let you know what happened in the month of October and maybe summarize what was discussed in some of the previous months. As you're working towards a real estate exam, this part is a good example of one of the topics covered on the Maryland real estate exam, which is duties and powers of the Real Estate Commission. So highlight number one is that the duty of the Real Estate Commission is to hold a public meeting, which once again is held on the third Wednesday of every month at 10:30 a.m. And then the other one is definitely talk about what their role, what is it that they want to put in place, which is what I'm going to go over. We have the opportunity to be able to go through and discuss what it is they spoke about. So in a couple of minutes, I am going to review what it is that they spoke about. They met on October, I believe it was October the 20th, that Wednesday. And this is what they discussed. Just to give you a disclaimer, my name is Brenda Kasuva. I am a real estate educator. I have made every effort for the last 4 years or so to attend all the Realistic Commission meetings. And what I share is what I heard, because their minutes will be posted on their website. At the start of every meeting, they are going to pass a motion to approve the previous month's complaints, which also are publicized under the disciplinary actions, and then also what they discussed in the previous meeting. We then go through reports, education, what's happening with the PSI exam for those who want to get their real estate license. And then for those of us who are already licensed, we get into continuing education. Legislative report gets into what are the bills they want to propose coming from the Realistic Commission, or what is it that they need to pay attention to make sure that they enforce any bill that is being proposed and eventually will pass that will affect us in the real estate industry. The Realistic Commission are the ones who are going to enforce those particular laws. We hear from the executive director, whom, if you're practicing or studying for your real estate exam, is not one of the 9 realistic commissioners that volunteer for that position. But this individual is running that particular department, so they will do a report as to what's happening in the Realistic Commission. And then the chairperson, whom is elected from one of the 9, will give their report, and then they will finish off with the public comments. So we start off with the education report. This is where we go through how many people took the PSI real estate exam for that particular month in comparison to the previous month. They go through that. And then they also talk about anything else to do with continuing education. So this month was special. After the numbers were shared, we then focused on the continuing education side. What were we discussing there? There are 4 courses that are created and facilitated or administered by the Real Estate Commission. We have MREC supervision, or some of you will label that as broker supervision, category I. This one is special and required for any individual that is a broker, a team leader, or an office manager. To get to that point, you need to have been licensed for 3 years. To become a broker, you would need to also take the 135-hour course and start your own brokerage. So that's 3 hours of continuing education. The other course is the commercial side of that relationship between the broker and the client, agency. We have that course, category H for Harry. We have BRAD, which stands for Brokerage, Relationship, and Disclosures, which is 3 hours. And that's more on the conversation of residential classified properties. And then the new one, which came about October 1st, 2023, is BRAD SD, which stands for Brokerage, Relationship, and Disclosures, Seller Disclosures. Category K, that is special again for individuals who got their license after October 1st, 2023. Since we're talking about continuing education, it felt right for us to review what are those requirements. In Maryland right now, we are required to take a minimum of 15 hours of continuing education every 2 years to renew our real estate license. So what are they? Let's start off with that individual that gets their license after October 1st, 2023. There's 6 courses which are selected to review a couple of things to make sure that you are at your best as you start this particular career or practice. So they are in the topic of contracts, just going through what is expected in when you are working with a buyer, seller, landlord, or tenant, that contract, the contract between the sellers and the buyers, landlords and tenants, which is a lease. So we talk about that. We review principles of real estate. That covers advertising, deposits, and condo and HOAs in that particular continuing education course. The third one, which is 3 hours, is brokerage, relationship, and disclosure. Here we included seller disclosure, which is the disclosure disclaimer. And then the fourth course, which is 3 hours worth, is on property management, the practice side of things when you're working with a landlord and or a tenant, not about starting a property management company, because to do that, your broker needs to say yes or no to that, and you follow whatever your broker indicates. The last 2 are 1.5 hours each, professionalism, and the last one is on real estate financing. Once you take these courses and you renew your license, the second renewal and thereafter, you would be taking the courses that some of us have been taking who got our license before October 1st, 2023. Let's talk about this special one, BRAD SD, Brokerage, Relationship, and Disclosure, Seller Disclosure, because that's a new course that is administered by the Real Estate Commission. How this one is special is, again, it's for new individuals who got their license after October 1st, 2023. Thereafter, renewal time. After renewal, you'll be taking the ones that some of us have been taking already. Since, for example, I got my license in 2004. So these are the topics: legislative, 3 hours; code of ethics, 3; brokerage, relationship, and disclosure. Yeah, you notice some similarities. This one came about in 2019, again, for individuals who got their license prior to October 1st, 2023. Fair housing, minimum of 1.5. And then we have whatever any other topics that fancy you, as long as it is approved by the Realistic Commission. It could be on appraisal, it could be on home inspection, as long as it is approved by the Realistic Commission for you to get continuing education, you are good. When you upgrade your responsibilities and become a broker, a team leader, or a manager, again, being licensed a minimum of 3 years, you would be taking still the legislative topic, code of ethics, brokerage relationship and disclosure, fair housing. The difference here is that you now need, since you're supervising others, you would be taking broker supervision, 3 hours, which leaves you a minimum of elective topics, hours of 1.5 hours. You can always take more than the minimum of 15 hours in the 2-year cycle. Couple of reminders for us when we're talking about continuing education. We shall get renewal reminders. What does that mean? If my license expires on July 17th, 2025, I am going to get a couple of reminders. Right now, as we stand today, November the 4th, I will get one 60 days before, 30 days before, and 3 days prior to my expiration date, which in my example was, July 17th, 2025. What has come into play as of October 1st, 2024, is that we do need to complete our continuing education credits 30 days prior to that expiration date. If we lapse or fail to do so, there's the fee. They're calling it reinstatement fee, but I'll call it a late fee, meaning that you did not take your continuing education 30 days prior to the expiration date. Right now, that fee is $168. There is talk of the fees going up in 2025. The schools where you're taking these classes from, remember again, these are schools that have been approved by the Realistic Commission, and those courses that they offer are also approved by the Realistic Commission, have 14 days to let the Realistic Commission know that you did complete those particular courses. So pay attention to that. The next topic was on legislative. So here we're talking about the rules or the laws that we need to pay attention to. And this one normally comes from the chairperson. In the year of 2025, they might have even started late 2023. There was discussion of proposing a bill that would require radon tests to be done whenever there's a property transfer. Just to give you an update on that, is that that will not proceed at this present moment. The feedback received was that it might cause delays when people are looking to purchase or to sell homes. Therefore, it might affect the economy in terms of that delay. So right now, for those of you who might have been looking forward to that or wondering about it, for now, this has been tabled. We shall see whether it shall be introduced at a later time. Still being discussed is background and fingerprint checks of new licensed individuals, and also for those of us who have a license already, when we are going to renew our license, that conversation still continues. At this point, it might not be introduced in the 2025 legislative session. So let's see what's going to happen, and probably it shall be introduced in the 2026 legislative session. I'll definitely keep you posted. The next thing that was discussed is just an update on the disclosure disclaimer. They have been talking about updating it, adding a little bit more questions, especially on the topic of holding tanks for those properties where we're not able to have a septic tank with drains. drain lines. Instead, it goes to a holding tank, having that seller definitely disclose that. So that is something that is still being discussed. When it is completed, you will definitely access it from the Real Estate Commission website. There's a process to that. It has to be put on the Maryland Register for people to comment. And then from there, it is looked at, approved, and then it is sent out to the masses by either we shall get an email or, like I said, it shall be posted on the Real Estate Commission website. The next report that we went through or that they discussed was the report from the executive director. Right now, when we're talking about the numbers, this is where we stand. Total, everyone that has a Maryland real estate license is currently sitting at 47,108. The breakdown is as follows: 39,700 of us are salespeople. And then associate brokers are 3161, 3,161. Leave-in brokers to be 4,247 individual that have a broker license. This is everyone, including somebody who might have 2 or 3 different licenses in different states. This is everyone that has a license in Maryland. October, they spent time going through training instructors that are going to be teaching the 4 courses that are administered by the Real Estate Commission. So you should start seeing different individuals teaching those courses. The next meeting is going to be on November 20th. I challenge you, if you're watching this video or listening to me, to try and attend. At least, I tell people, at least once in your license career, join their meetings. You will learn a lot. I will do my best to continue sharing the updates. You can always check out the minutes when they are posted on their website. Until next time, I look forward to hearing about your real estate journey, how I can help to pass the real estate exam, or when we meet at a continuing education class, definitely let me know. And that way we can connect and see how we can grow your business even more. Take care. Have a great day.